Good morning, Peter. How are
Hello.
you?
Good morning. Very good. Thank you. Everything's fantastic apart of the sounds today, but that's okay.
You knew the English challenge did recently here.
Yeah, it's just each Friday morning and 10 we have a different challenge. I think the rest streams and the streaming and everything is just preparing us the completely new Friday. So hello everybody. Welcome to our streaming. Thank you very much guys for joining. Great to have you with us today. Good session today. We have it. And once more, thank you very much for being with us for the last 2 years. My God, last 2 years. Season 3, we are coming very soon to the end for the season 3 vacation period. It's coming. So guys, just speed up if you would like just to participate, help. So just come over. Oh my God, I'm talkative today.
I will take over from you and just again thank you for the support. The newsletter is increasingly very quick. We're no more than 9,000 people. Thank you so much. It's the QR code. You guys can scan it today around afternoon. New post will be released. So to keep updated, just subscribe there and join all those 9,000 people. And let's move it also to the channel as well. Just get over to the YouTube channel, at the BIM Cafe, and give us the subscription, the like, everything, which is the support and the energy we need to keep making these Fridays happen.
Yeah, just put it, guys. Thank you very much. 9,000 is a good number. We plan to have the 1,000 people on the YouTube channel. I think that's enabled something on the YouTube, in fact. So that's really helping us with some of the stuff there. So just go there and just click it and like it, subscribe. What we will be doing today, Enrique?
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna take one of the interviews we had recently with one a very good guest. I will say I enjoyed pretty much the conversation with him. Mostly at the end when we were talking about the new technologies and the new things coming to the industry. Let me introduce to the audience. His name is Andrew Victory, coming from Arcadis, technical director, as holding the position. And many other things, but basically the guy in charge from the global company to implement any new technology such as BIM or any automation design traces or whatever. No, so it's someone who needs to be checking on people, making sure that we are using the latest, see the results are coming back, and also, of course, be updated and aware of all the new things coming, as the AI and robotics and many others. So very wide topics we discussed with him, going from the global perspective of how to implement transformation in the company up to the new tools and the, as I said, technologies coming out to the market. So what do you think? Did you enjoy the interview, Peter, with him?
That was a good interview. I just, I'm still not sure if we still have a friend, but that was a good interview.
Of course. So first of all, we're gonna start always. I mean, after a few interviews, I don't know how many interviews we have. I will say we are close to 50 people already recorded, if not 40 or so. But there's something that we repeat many times, and not because of repeating it, it's not gonna be true. And it's about people, process, and technologies. These three pillars to implement the strategies and the implementation of the new technologies. So we ask Andrew, what are those pillar for him, and let's see what is his answer.
Really, when we talk about the strategies, okay, we see all these themes and all these hot topics and all these things that the countries are keen to do, and it's always around, for me, it's always around people, process, technology. I know that's quite an old school strategy concept. I know it's still used in many change management places, but really it's what do we need to do for our people and address for our people in terms of their skills, in terms of roles and skills that are growing and which ones maybe are reducing or changing. And that can be at managers, coordinators, modelers, it could be at leads level, or it could be, in relation to data and information management and all that. So that's the people piece. Processes is obviously around workflows, really. What are we trying to do around our workflows? How are we getting more effective on how we work? And then the final one is obviously technologies, and the strategy around, we know what technologies are emerging. We know what technologies are already being used within the industry and on our projects. What's our plans on how we progress that and accelerate that? And the strategy really has to come around all three of those topics, really, and how they all have an influence on each other. So it's really working with those three core themes always. And I know it's a long in the tooth kind of strategy of change, people, process, technology, but But really, it's that. It's, you know, the only thing I was going to mention as well is that it's a funny one because, yes, typically people that do these kind of roles have come from the projects and have come from project delivery of BIM. But really, after a while, it moves much more into a change management role, really, and kind of people role, really, and that's a different focus to the tools itself.
Classic, but pretty efficient. You know, people, process, technology. I think, yeah.
And I see at this now because one of the things that he was also sharing to implement from a global perspective in a company, all the changes is like you need to think globally as a whole company, but act locally depending of your country itself. No? So this is look like climate change as well, right? You need to think globally but act locally. Otherwise, you can apply the same strategy, the same processes or technology to different people. It won't work. You need to adapt to their own requirements or own processes or workflows or whatever.
But I think it's pretty simple. I think we haven't challenged him too much on thing. I think Andrew was not really challenged about this one too much. But yeah, no, I think what we see in for some of our clients, you know, the technology part is, I think it's not really well valued in the different place. But you know, I think it's evolution. So it's just would take some more time to get it. Yeah, so normal.
Perfect. So you want to hear like a top level person talking about the implementation processes, challenges, and so on. The interview will be released at 10:30. We're gonna jump into the next clip, Peter. If you agree with me, and we're gonna take what I said about going for act locally on some countries when we're talking about a big company like Arcadis where Andrew works. So we need to go there and implement our ideas to the country because not every strategy is going to work the same.
Correct.
So this is a good approach that he shared with us. So let's take a look and then we comment afterwards.
Let's see.
Arcadis is a large company with 34,000 staff. My specific area of focus is around a third of that, which is the design and engineering aspects of the business. And really on that side, it's, you know, the money and the revenues and the projects, the profits, I should say, come in the countries and are owned by the countries, really. So, you know, from a global side, we don't want to at all stop the good work that's going on there, and obviously the good things that are happening for our clients. It's quite the opposite. From a global side, everyone thinks when I'm in global roles and, you know, working for corporate headquarters group, that it's a top-down mandates on things, and that really has to be something that's balanced. There's some themes and some core areas that from a global perspective we put as priorities and importance to the countries to say, look, these are things that we would like to and we need to move towards, and we measure it and we kind of flag up to their leadership in countries as to where there's maybe resistance or maturity that is good on these areas. But the other side is, you know, they have autonomy and control over what's important for their countries, and they know exactly what is more important and valuable in some ways than me, because they're on the ground, they're talking to their local clients. The majority of our clients at Arcadis are local clients, you know, our country-specific clients. We have a whole portfolio of global clients, what we call global key clients, but the majority of the work and the majority of the projects, and it's around 40,000 a year that Arcadis does, is by the countries. So it really needs to be a collaboration, and that's kind of where I feel my role has been advantageous to this, because I try to be supportive and sometimes challenge them about what they're doing. But really, it's then a lot of knowledge sharing and a lot of connecting the dots and a lot of making everyone aware of what other countries are doing for each other. And that's down to me. That's
I think that's what we can hear also from some other our clients, guys. So that's really very common. You know, local markets, local regulations, local way of working is just really just taking over some of the global processes. I don't know where is the good way. What will be the good way really of looking at it? It should be the more global, more local. It should be really the balance, I think. No.
Yeah, totally. But finding this right balance, if it's 40, 60, if it's 50, 50, 55, 45, that's where you need to work on for your strategy, right? But it's important, I take it down there, avoiding the top-down mandates, like we do this way because the headquarters says to do it. We don't care about how it affects your work because you in this country can be more sensible to this process than in the other one or whatever. No, that won't be the way around. Andrew talks a lot about listening and seeing what's happening on the ground, because those people who
Exactly.
are dealing with those clients or projects, that we know more what they need, not the people who are sitting on the board making the changes. Of course, need to adapt them, but not that quickly. So it was a good conversation, and I think he has good also negotiation power. No? Like you can see his expertise on going there and trying to make people understand change things and so on.
Yeah. No, but it's also just depends also how this is coming back to the previous point. Is the technology supportive for the countries, or this is like a mandate, right? I'm just if the guys see the technology helping, that will be good. But if they see this is like only implementation coming from the headquarters, I heard
Exactly.
so many. I even participate in some of the big failures projects, so it's it can be
Exactly. So,
interesting.
this is a very good comment to link our next clip, Peter, because we're going to talk about how do we gain people trust to do these implementations, no, and listen to us or to the headquarters. So
Just they need to subscribe to our newsletter. So just as 9,000 people who are trusting us. So just that's the best way to do, guys. Just I'm getting very well in promotional things.
fantastic,
Please click
fantastic.
it. Click.
Great. So let's listen how Andrew thinks we can gain the people's trust to make the changes on the local countries.
Few things there. One thing is you've got to go and visit them face to face. You've got to, if you're trying to do these things on a webinar and trying to build that trust, it's really quite difficult. So you need to go and speak to them and have a chance to kind of talk over more than an hour session. And even if you try to do full day webinars, it's not gonna have the same impact that you have when you put them together. The other thing is you've got to make them feel that what you're doing is going to be beneficial to them, and be very transparent about maybe why what they're doing currently isn't being efficient for how the company wants to go. And so really, and you have to kind of talk about other countries often and say, look, these country X, Y, and Z is doing this, and it's proved really effective. We feel that this is something that you should consider, and go forward. Now, if the resistance is high and there's valid reasons, I can understand that, and then we have to kind of approach it differently. People don't like to have projects where they need to make an initial investment of change that they're not going to maybe see the return on that for project one. So we have to kind of give them that guidance, that support, and also give them some experience from other countries and get those people to talk to them to say, look, it didn't work for project one was difficult. It didn't go well, but by project 2 and 3, things are starting to really go better. And then the management of the projects from a BIM perspective is getting much more effective and much easier. And what I will then say to them is, don't just take my word for it. Here's another person that's going to explain it to you and articulate that issue. And it will take some support from my side, and it will take continuing to keep that conversation going even after you've left and after they've left, and making them feel that they are part of a process where we all want to go as a company. But we do let them do a lot. We do have to make sure that they feel that they can do things that are right for them as well. So it really has to be a balance.
Yeah.
It's more like an 80-20.
Also,
My guy, I look stressed on this interviews, to be honest. When I'm
looking for documentation, right, to support your comments.
yeah, that's okay. It's just but I think so. I'm thinking maybe I was looking for a trust around me or something like this. I don't know.
Well, something that I catch from this clip is the powers to do the things in person, to go and see them, and you don't feel like you're talking to a ghost or some entity which is only appears on your Teams or Google Meet. No, so it's someone who really have a real voice and care about you. And of course, they need to see the benefit. Is what he says. People are not going to invest on something, or they're going to put the whole effort. If we talk about BIM or any digital transformation, you don't see a full a return on it. No, the content needs to be full, but this is not going to bring me any benefit. I can do it because you tell me to do it, but I will do it with 0 or 1 interest, no much more. So it's important to believe. We talk a lot here about BIM, some digital transformations and technologies as So similar to religion, because you need to believe on them. Even though results are not there, you need to believe on them. If you don't believe
Yeah,
on
you
them.
remember that for some of the leaders of the religions, it's finished badly. Okay, so you know,
Exactly, exactly. Well, what we have next, Peter? We're gonna talk about gonna change a bit the topic, and we're gonna talk about what are the coming next. No, what is the future of the technology of the construction industry? And a word that Andrew uses a lot is the horizon. So he tried to make strategies on three different horizon levels, like short term, medium, and long term. That's his way of thinking and how to implement different technologies and so on. So let's listen to him first, and then we come in afterward. But it's a very very interesting approach.
let's go.
It's Horizon One, which is what do we need to do today to prepare for tomorrow, in terms of digitizing our ways of working, building that foundation of working in a more emerging way. The 1 to 5 year strategy, which is Horizon Two, which is okay, how do we work with startups? Where do we need to be in terms of furthering our BIM and digital appetite and digital value creation opportunities? And then finally, in that 7 year strategy was, okay, what do we need to do around incubation of ideas to build them, and give new services to our clients in the longer term, so 7 years. Now, people always think that when I say or not always, but often people have thought, and I did myself to some extent, when we're talking 1 to 3 year strategy, 1 to 5 year, 1 to 7, that you're doing one after the other after the other. But the reality is, no, you're doing all three at the same time. And so there is overlaps, and there is times that you're bumping into each other through the different horizons. But BIM was at Horizon One, 100%. It was a Horizon One plan, build that foundation. So it had a 1 to 3 year plan. So to get from 25 to what we called as our vision of where we want to get to, was called 100% BIM. So, and obviously there was loads of questions around, what does 100%, do we have to get to 100%? When will we get to 100% in each country and things like that. From my side, it was more, that's the target. That's where we're aiming. We need to work with the countries to work out how we're going to get incrementally to that target within the strategy cycle. So yeah, basically we would work with the countries to first, and this is the hard bit sometimes, is you're setting those plans up with them before they've actually done it. So obviously, there are moments of reflection when you're like, gosh, we really gave ourselves quite a tight deadline there to get to 50% or 75%. And so you work with them to go, okay, well, where can we be? What are our timelines? It can't be just, we can't get there. It has to be, okay, we can't get there. What is the timeline then to get there?
100% beam. Wow.
Utopia. We're discussing this on
He
this
is my
interview, or
hero.
another one.
He is my...
This is a great sentence at the end, just to start by the end of what he said, that we cannot really accept a no for an answer. For you were talking about the local development in a country, for the company itself saying no, we cannot get there. Okay, fine. So what is your reach? No, because we need to manage like this. We need to manage this kind of goals adapted to them. Otherwise, you say, okay, no, you're asking 80% of BIM, for example. I know that in my country, in my region, or in my department, I won't get there in 25 years. So, but that's not an answer. You cannot just hold on or draft a strategy for horizon 25 years. So you need to break it down in small pieces. Okay, how do we get to 40? How do we get to 25 first, not to 40? So you can feel that you are gaining some new skills, progressing. So slowly, maybe in 5 years, you see that 80%, not that farther as it was 5 years ago.
Yeah, but Enrique, I hear what you're saying, but this is, when I'm saying I hear what you're saying, it means
I
we
know, I know.
disagree. I disagree completely, right? So, but if you 1,000 people company, yes, I can see it, short, medium, and long. But if you're the average construction company on the market from 10 to 20 people, come on, you don't have the long term. You just really have the survival short term to make it sure that you can deliver, right? So yes, but how to do for the smaller companies, how to make sure because they will be driving it, because they are just the key element of it. The big one, there's just I don't know. I'm just I'm just having the big reflection this week about the small companies, really.
I also think about that Andrew said that those horizons needs to be together, right? Like the horizon, the short term, or what we need to, he said, what we need to do today to be ready for tomorrow needs to be aligned of what we need to do today to be ready for next year. So the short term progress is also getting you closer to the long term progress. That's why you are doing things for tomorrow instead, but also working forward the future, the near future. No? Does it sound
Yeah,
good for you? Or
yeah,
not
no, but
enough?
Enrique, this is like for us, it's like for Tilco and for the BIM, what we are doing is just it's a question of the pipeline, what we will be doing the next month, right? And do we will have enough people coming for the next week and not really for how the digital transformation construction will look in the 5 years. So I relate what he's saying, but that will be great if you will have the 10,000 subscribers and it will be steady flow of revenue, etc. So it's
Of
kind of
course, of course.
utopia, right? I'm
Yeah,
again, Andrew, great guys, no problem. But I think this is
yeah.
something which is really linked to the bigger part of industry, not the smaller and the medium part.
Yeah. Well, being coming from a bigger industry, so that's the tactics over there. We need to take a think about that.
You're
So
nice.
good, moving forward on our next topic on Click, we're going to talk about. We said we're going to discuss about new technologies and so on, and there is so many design automation tactics and processes, sorry, happening on the market in the construction industry. But is it right to automatize everything, or how much custom do you need to put as well? No? So what is this balance between going for everything automatic or do it also something still manually? This kind of a big question also we're asking Andrew. So let's see how he reacts and if he get away with this.
Just one before we will
Yeah,
just
tell me.
jump into the video. So I see that people are joining and just putting some thumbs up. So if you have any questions or anything, you can chat it. We will not be able to respond it directly on the chat, but we can just talk about it. So we see you guys, and thank you very much for joining. Thank you for scanning the QR code. We also can see when you scan it, guys.
But
So this
no
is
who and what.
yes, we can see it. We don't know who, but we know that this is scanned. So it's great.
Say hi from when you're watching this. So it will give us some joy to see where the interview is reaching up to. Well, Andrew
Okay.
Victory, we talk about the automation design.
Yeah, let's go.
What do we let people do in terms of creative automation compared to what do we let, we need some sort of technology side to kind of support us on the guardrails is the exciting imbalance that we're trying to work out. There is some bits that definitely are scalable, and it's difficult. The obvious ones I use as an example that are things like as not editing the name of something across multiple hundreds of drawings, those sorts of scripts, or batch exporting to a PDF system, or those are kind of low-hanging fruits that really all projects should be kind of using these kind of approaches for. But others not so much. Where we are doing this generative design, this computational design approach, which is done via a platform, that's a different nature and a different skill set, and even the coding languages are really having an impact of what do we consider, the C Sharp versus what was Visual Basic back then, and versus the Dynamos of the world and the generative components of the world. Always have a different kind of where they process of project delivery, and you have to question even for the managers and BIM coordinators, well, what sort of those skills do they have available to them and be able to do themselves compared to what should be a separate capability that exists within the business, really. So yeah, it's an exciting time. I feel like automation and design automation in particular, I feel like I'm back in 2006, 2007 for that stuff. I feel like it's going to take us many years to be where it's formalized and understood. That said, there's some really fantastic conferences around computational design that I follow and I've been to, and it's really exciting where this will go. What the impact on the BIM people is, it's still in question because of the BIM uses and all the different types of BIM that can happen. I think there's different bits that are going to be impacted compared to others.
So guys, if you hear some of the noise part here, sorry for this is the platform I think which is not really just going very well today. Maybe it's raining. I'm in Brussels and it's raining like a hell. So maybe this is the rain which causing some technology problem. Imagine how the beaming will be impacted because of rain. Unbelievable. Anyway,
It's a
sorry
good,
for
good
that.
reflection of, from Andrew at the end, no? Like where changes are coming from the industry, automation, AI, robotics, blah blah. But how it affecting people, we still don't know, right? So this is a good reflection there. But of course, we need to adapt to make it easier and cleaner. Like for example, for me, one of the things is more important with the generation of a generative AI is that you don't need now to study 5 years of computer programming, no, to kind of do some scripts on Dynamo. You want to do stuff on Revit or so on. So you do a bit of the basis, but you can get some help from your magic assistant there. So, of course, you can get some automation easier, but not everything, of course.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it's just I think there are some limits. Even I admired all of the Chat GPT and Copy AI and all of the AI the world right now, but the usage will be limited still for now for everything. So if guys, by the way, if you have any idea how we can use the AI in the construction industry and in the BIM, let us know. Let's discuss it. Come jump into the BIM Cafe together, and let's just try to find a solution for construction because we again late with the implementing the new technology in the construction industry.
Exactly. Well, let's jump into the next clip, okay? Before we finish today's, we're gonna just browse those new trendy technologies coming out to the market. So let's see what is Andrew's views and excitement about them.
Capture, I do feel is going to have an impact, and I know that computer vision, I feel, is going to have an impact on that as well. So I think when I talk about as you were showing the slides as well, Enrique, I was thinking, well, the horizons, you could have your own horizons just for BIM, just literally for within the BIM themes and the BIM topics. And I do think, I'm going to say in the short term, reality capture, I really think it still is something that is going to impact us. And I know that ChatGPT is starting to get experimented with around the scripting and automation of our normal tools as well. The things you mentioned there about using text to design buildings, I love that stuff. I think it's the right thing to be following. I think it might be slightly too early, but it's good that we're doing it. I think when Alexa came out, 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago, and forgive me for not remembering how many years Alexa really has been around, but I started seeing on our AEC blogs and social media around BIM, people controlling the designing of models and the editing of the buttons or the pushing of the buttons of the top of the software. And I won't say the software name but there was software names. There's software that was being manipulated using Alexa. So someone had hacked the hell out of an Alexa to be able to get it to push buttons to do with moving objects, editing objects, bringing up properties, and all that sort of stuff. And I haven't seen it progress since then, much, let's say. And so with the example you gave around the ChatGPT, I think it's going to take us a long time. So that, I would argue, is in the 5 to 7 year strategy. Again, the pace that these things move, maybe I'm wrong, and by year 3 of Horizon 1, actually it's something we need to really come up with a good plan for. But I see that more on the longer term. I think robotics is definitely, some of the things I'm seeing with robotics is having an impact.
I think robotics and the exoskeleton, etc. That's for sure. I think it will if we will find a good niche market. I think a good niche product for construction. I think it will be faster with the Chat GPT. And I think this is because, Enrique, what you mentioned, you do not need to have the specific knowledge of the programming. There's this no code programming.
No code, no code. Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
think it
exactly.
can go faster, but we need to find interfaces. And of course, we will be the first. As a Tilco advisors, we will be the first to
The trailblazers, yeah. It is also good that mentioned the example with Alexa, no? Because now we have so many text to beam, some application there starting to develop on the market with the AI and also with ChatGPT text. But how long until we talk to them? Because it's going to be way quicker, right? So
And by the way, right now, the interview with Andrew is ready and released. So just guys, if you wish to go and just check it, to just go and check it, the whole interview, good content, good discussion. He didn't give up so easily, so we challenged him a lot. So that was very good dynamic discussion. Thank you, Andrew, for being with us on this one. So thumbs up. Thank you very much. So it's released, so you can go, you can check it. We will be able just to provide you more information. So please subscribe to the newsletter. Again, we are doing this completely free. So just do not have anything just in the commercial side. Come and join us and try to change the construction world. Wow.
exactly. Subscribe to our channel, please, the newsletter, and also if you want to support this initiative, you will have more information here, or you can just contact us, Peter or myself. We can give you some guidance around, but please give us some support and spread the knowledge of the word of mouth for the BIM Cafe, and we can make this happen and reach way more people. So again, Friday, well, we have so many things on the screen. I'm getting overwhelmed. Let's start to remove all
Yeah,
the
too many
QR
things, too many things. Okay, so thanks,
This is
Enrique,
yeah.
for a good discussion. Thank you for being with us, guys. So happy to have you all. Once more, big thank you for supporting us and supporting our cause. All together, we will make the transformation of digital construction industry with digital. I'm getting really digital completely. Have a great Friday. Have a great
Total.
Saturday. Have a great Sunday. And see you next Friday for the next episode of the BIM Cafe, which will be also just having the great guests. And, stay tuned, guys.
Happy Friday, everyone. Bye.
Happy Friday.